the Russian capital was abruptly plunged into darkness, its skyline lit only by sporadic explosions. Just hours earlier, Russia had launched a massive offensive against Ukraine, deploying over 700 drones and missiles targeting energy infrastructure and civilians. The Kremlin hoped to paralyze Ukraine, but Ukraine responded swiftly and decisively. By the night of October 31, 2025, Moscow faced its most powerful and coordinated strike since the war began. On November 1st, Ukraine's main Directorate of Intelligence, SECUR, confirmed the operation, revealing its strategic significance. This was no random attack. 3 major pipelines, carrying gasoline, diesel, and critically, aviation fuel, were destroyed simultaneously. The Ramensky region in Moscow Oblast, home to military command centers, fuel networks, and air defense infrastructure, was the target. The Kultivoy pipeline there, the lifeblood of Moscow's military fuel supply, was shattered. The pipeline's capacity underscores its importance: up to 3 million tons of aviation fuel, 2.8 million tons of diesel, and 1.6 million tons of gasoline annually. Ukraine struck surgically, targeting a node of symbolic and military significance. Ramensky houses Russia's key military, industrial complexes and Zhukovsky Air Base, the country's principal flight test center. Their advanced aircraft, including Su-57 fighters, Su-35SS and S-70 UAVs, are developed. The attack disrupted both current operations and future air power programs, grounding some of Putin's flagship assets. The pipeline also supplied fuel to air bases of the 1st Special Purpose Air and Missile Defense Army, tasked with protecting Moscow. 2 key bases, Chikalovsky and Kubinka, were cut off. Chikalovsky, a command center for the aerospace forces and elite personnel transport hub, lost critical logistics. Kubinka, home to top Su-30 and MiG-29 pilots, supports Moscow's western air defense shield. Ostafo International Airport, used by the Ministry of Defense and FSB for special operations, also faced disruption. Fuel had to be rerouted via slower, vulnerable rail and truck transport, creating a logistical nightmare and exposing new targets for future sabotage. Beyond the military impact, the attack was a psychological blow. Moscow's image as an impregnable fortress collapsed. Authorities initially blamed technical failures, but HUR's confirmation and international coverage proved Moscow was in crisis. Telegram channels erupted, exposing the failure of state propaganda. The operation demonstrated Ukraine's strategic sophistication. Coinciding with Russia's large-scale drone attack on November 1st, HUR struck the pipeline while air defenses were distracted. This hybrid approach exploited a critical blind spot, overwhelming both air defense and internal intelligence simultaneously. Questions arose within the Kremlin: was this purely Ukrainian, or was there insider help? The facility was protected by drone-proof nets and armed personnel, making infiltration nearly impossible without inside knowledge. The success suggests deep fissures within the FSB, GRU, or discontented officers, posing a far greater threat to Putin than conventional military setbacks. The Ramensky strike was the culmination of a staged Ukrainian strategy. Shah's doctrine, outlined by President Kirillo Budanov, emphasized precision strikes. The first phase, 2024 mid-2025, targeted production facilities, causing economic disruption. The second phase struck high-value military assets, creating confusion and blind spots. The third phase, exemplified by the Ramensky pipeline, targets distribution networks, combining logistical and psychological damage far beyond sanctions. The international impact is substantial. Beijing, Tehran, Pyongyang, Brussels, and NATO are reassessing Russia's vulnerabilities. Allies observing the attack saw that Russia could not protect even critical facilities near Moscow. This humiliation undermines Putin's credibility, increases the cost of support, and pressures Moscow strategically. Putin now faces an impossible choice: protect domestic infrastructure at the front line's expense, or focus on the war front while risking logistical paralysis at home. As Budanov noted, this single operation dealt a faster, more devastating blow than sanctions. What exploded in Ramensky was not merely a pipeline. It was the illusion of a secure Moscow, the lifeline of the capital's air defenses, and the facade of Putin's invincibility. Ukraine brought the war to Moscow's heart, striking at its logistical and military core. Explosions in Moscow Oblast now echo through the Kremlin, disrupting elite aircraft, air defenses, and exposing previously hidden vulnerabilities. The fortress has fallen from within.